About 2 weeks ago, I saw on the Lacosa WhatsApp group the so-called agenda for the AGM for this year. And I saw it listed that one AGM was going to give the keynote address. So I picked my phone, I called the gentleman who sent it because I didn't know him. So I asked, but I checked his name, trying to buy airtime, so I knew his name. And I spoke very candidly with him. I could be learning well. In the Marmon Ponchi, they were made one, pay me a broadcasting, and I will cook, pay me a new. Fortunately, it turned out to be a very jolly person. And I think being a loud man, he didn't take it too seriously. He just said, I drove him my picture. I'm sorry. So we went on to chat. I asked him where we come from, asked him if he called, which is your clan. I tried to tease him. You sound like a Gora. I said, no, I'm from Banya. Then I told him, oh, you're Richard Bolay's boy. He said, yes. I said, okay. Then I asked him, what is the theme? What is the theme? He said, sir, I don't know. So you don't know and you want me to? Did the executive discuss? This and agreed that what I came to come and talk anything or nothing? He said, let me check with the chairperson. I don't know whether we spoke or he sent a message. I think we spoke. This was, he sent a message in private in my inbox. And I said, you know, we didn't think about what the theme for the AGM talk would be. But there are people who were not there when he spoke last time. So we want you to say what you did last time so that people can know you partly and also get to know more about developments that took place since you took place, took the chair of Board of Governors. Then in my mind I said, this meeting is for Lacosa. Don't want to hijack this and make this a board meeting. This meeting is for Lacosa. So anyway, in the end, we decided, okay, let me see what I can do, but I will only say things that Lacosa would have said if they had an audience like this. Therefore, Lacosa is not the owner of this school. The board owns the school on behalf of the people of Uganda. Everything we are doing is in support of the board, of the board's agenda. And so, say, okay, what is our mandate then? Say, in broad terms, our mandate is to support the board. And I said, a curious listener would ask, how? How will you do that? I said, we can support the board by providing information, data, and assistance that the board either requested us to do or the board considers useful for the school. But we cannot impose any idea or any plans that does not fit with the board's vision. And so I said to myself, so what is that? Let's just pull up, blah, 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 blah. I said first, the board is responsible for policy. if we as Lacosa to study hard so that in future they also become somebody. We can support the board by suggesting projects which may already be in the possession of the board but requires either upgrading or adjustments or whatever. And I gave myself an example of Kennedy Library. Kennedy Library belongs to the board, but we members of Lacosa did propose, and the matter reached the board already, that we would like to support the board by trying to mobilize resources so as to either put an annex, innovate this one, or build. So idea is that physical idea of trying to put things together. We can also support the board. If, for instance, the board requires, and this happens, because I was a parent in Gayaza and Budu for over 10 years in each school. My children went through those schools. And we offered our professionalism to bridge the gap where the schools needed support, but of course gave a lot of money, but within the membership of all students and the parents, they would literally get it for free. I rehabilitated for free the sanitation system in Gayaza by helping them bring up a dead sewage system of sewage lagoons when the water was restored to Gayaza. I supervised the construction, the drilling construction of 2 boreholes that the school still depends on up to today, at no cost, as part of my contribution to the school. These are ideas for us. But we are not responsible for the day-to-day management of the school, and we are not going to interfere so, unless probably the PTA, which is recognized, but they also must work under the board. If any of our members are asked, then they can come on board and be able to support how, for instance, finances are distributed, given the small budget that is needed. So I said, yes, it's fine. There are other things, smaller things that the Lacosa is supposed to do. At least in 2 occasions that I witnessed, the one organized by David and the one organized when I was in board. The money didn't go to any of us. The money goes to the school offer, which is managed by the board. And that is the way it should be. So I hope that colleagues do understand and appreciate this, because I have been seeing on our WhatsApp group, there are some very active people, partly on the negative side. When they talk, you think they know, or they think they know, when in fact they don't. And so I want to appeal to my colleagues, stay within your lane. Stay within your lane. That way everybody will be fine. Secondly, don't write things in public domain unless you're 100% sure. Because those of us who have served in public offices have sworn oath of secrecy, which limits us from talking back, because you know the guy is not telling the truth. Maybe he's looking to fight this war with somebody else, but he thinks that is an easier way to go. That's not correct. So you keep quiet. In most cases, you're not going to have responsible former public officers respond to such provocation. All leaders must know when you're in office, there are hazards. One of my uncles who wanted to stand against Ojeko Court in 1985, I went with him to see another old man in Morogoro. And the old man was in support, but I think he saw that this old man would probably not manage because he was not a very bold person like Ojeko. So he told my uncle, he said, you look here. Now that you are joining politics, I want you to understand this from day one. That one, now will be good. 10. Second one, now will be 15. Be worried. Now will 10 we talk. I can explain to you, both of them are not alive now. I saw Dr. Tariq shaking his head, looking scared. That was my uncle. And the other Musee was Nicanor Piran, who was our chairman here also for some time. So that is the hazard you run into when you decide to handle the public office. And I bet all of you who have held public offices have tested a bit of those. I joined Lango College in 1966. There were 70 of us. We came and we were distributed at random. 1A, 35 students, 1B, and 35 students. I was in class 1B, together with my friend, the late Professor May, whom the chair of Lacosa asked me to talk about him, motivating our students as a way of motivating our students. A man came from a very humble family just like myself, but a man was much brighter than me. But the two of us were like twins. A man was always number one, I was always number two. So everybody knew that in the school. I'm sure David must have heard up there that there was a small boy called Patricia May. He was terrorizing us the good way. A man was very bright and all-rounder. So we moved on. After senior 2, we were lumped up in 3A, where now the separation was based on the examinations for the entire stream in year 2. So we both ended up in 3A, and we sat our East African Examinations Council in collaboration with Cambridge University in 1969 together. I mean, as expected, turned out with 8 distinctions. That was no surprise to us as classmates. Now, we had known that we were going for PCM. But we had a bit of a challenge in the school. First, the gentleman who was teaching us mathematics was called Mr. Patterson. He was an ex-soldier, but he knew his mathematics very well, except age was catching up with him. The man would sleep in the middle of the lesson. He sits down, within 1 minute he has started snoring in his chair. He said, now, with this kind of arrangement, with our hot weather here, the demand for A-level mathematics, all ourselves say, me, I'm not coming here for A-level. Amanyoto said, I am not coming. 2 other students said, I'm not coming. So what was the escape route? The escape route was only if you want a combination not found in our college. If your combination was here, you will be told to change your especially if you're bright student and Ross wanted you here. Say, UK, I'm saying UK. If you refuse, say, okay, we'll send you like that. So, results come, and I may have done very well. I've also done very well. I was number 2, as usual. Others also followed. Now, Amenya has put his first choice at King's College Video. Me, son of a peasant, and I will tell you because there is some young man from your land who calls me at dinner channel. We will tell you the story. We had put our choice at the School of Science and Mathematics, Uganda Technical College, Kiambu. Those are the only 2 schools in the country that offered physics, double mathematics. That was the only way to escape if Ross allowed you. So admission comes back. The 3 of us who had put to Lango, we were admitted. Joyful. I mean, we had put to Gudo, Lango College. I mean, almost committed suicide. I mean, Sal, but there was no way. Ross had changed his choice. And in those days, head teachers were very powerful. And they were son of a peasant. Who are you going to see in the Ministry of Education? So, Amen comes here. There was also an issue of a physics teacher called Ross. Huh? The fat one. Yes. Ross didn't know A-level physics well. When it came to regular activities, things were not working. So he would go to David Ongam. Ongam would teach him first in the staff room, and then he would go to teach. We got to know this. We said, no, we are off. So we parted company with the Patricks. 2 years later on, we met at Makerere, same class. He had passed very well, had passed very well. Both of us had gone to Makerere very unhappy. Both of us went to Makerere very unhappy. Me, I had 2 reasons, Amen had 1 reason. Amen had put his first choice at the University of Nairobi for engineering. Because we knew Nairobi was better at engineering than Makerere University. Me, I'd also put Nairobi, but I was not admitted. When we checked, we were told that government decided that those who pass well go to Makerere first. If it's still that, then we send you outside. I said, what is this logic? That we want to develop our own institution too? I said, okay, fine. My second reason for being annoyed when I received the admission letter, I was sent to North Court of all places. Now, those who have been there don't know the politics of campus. My cousins later, Lele and Romara Liro, had been to Makerere, and they stayed in Livingstone. They talked everything bad about North Court. I had another cousin who was in North Court, Laban Okuyo, but for some reason, he used to hear me make remarks about horns. He knew I didn't like North Court, so he didn't talk to me about North Court. So let me go. So anyway, we went. But what struck me was that the lecturers from technology, many of them had been lecturers at the University of Nairobi. And we had UNESCO professors because UNESCO was, see, this is a world professor. What is the problem? The only problem was lack of laboratory facility. Because for the first 2 years, we were using laboratories in Kiambu. Now, when you haven't gone there, you think when you go to a university, you're going to use equipment completely different from what technicians used for training. Kumbe, it is what you do with the extent to which you experiment. Because there are some which are meant for technicians, but yours for the degree, this equipment did it all. So even when they brought Maker's equipment, say, hey, but this is the same equipment in Kembo, except they were new and bigger. So we were there, and we settled down, studied very well. In the second year, we used to have examinations where you would choose where you go to civil, electrical, or mechanical. Because the first 2 years were common. So, and the program was rigorous. University exam for technology was every 2 terms. And students were eliminated every 2 terms. When you're in first year, second term, freshers are still enjoying their book. For you, you're waiting for your survival. And it went. So at the end of second year, in those days it's not like now where you hide your results. Results were pinned on the notice board. You can't run away from it. And it will stay there for weeks. So the results were pinned on the notice board. I had beaten a man. I was on top. I had a first class grade marks, and then I had second upper marks. So one day when I was going back to North School, somebody asked me, Wana, did you really beat a man? They asked me, he said, did you really beat a man? I said, you go and look at the notes for the game. But the man saw I didn't know how to move. So he came. One white man first came and told me, say, you know, young man, the ride is free. It's a free ride. The next one that comes, you just jump in to take you there. This Black America comes. Hey, brother man, you look like you're from Africa. He said, yes, man, I'm from Africa. He said, where do you want to go? I said, I want to go to the domestic terminal. It's well. Let's go back to there, come and bring $10, I'll pay for you. And so we jumped in together. I don't know how the bandits are here. I reached, I just walked, I asked the conductor, I said, are we supposed to pay? He said, no. I'm supposed to pay. I said, okay, this is America. So I continued up to Colorado. Now when I reached my place of abode, I found Loa. You all know Professor Loa. Professor Loa had gone there a year early on a on USAID scholarship. So they took me in. I stayed with him for a few days. But that evening, John said, Charles, let's go to have a meal. John had bought a big Cadillac. You haven't seen a big Cadillac. He had a big Cadillac. So I said, John starts driving, puts on the American music. Very loud. Ola Topper. Charles, this is America. He was driving really. Charles, this is America. We are settled. What are you? So we went and ate dinner. The following day, geography hasn't quite stopped because I was supposed to wake up, be at my college at 8. So at 4 o'clock I woke up, there's nobody outside. I looked at my watch because I don't adjust it. I said, but how? How? 4 o'clock, the sun is up and nobody is walking outside. Then I looked the other clock in the house. Oh, it was really 4. I said, this is how it is here because it was coming to the end of summer. So anyway, I got ready about 7 something, and then I started walking to where they are given where hardly 100 meters out of the place where I stay. I find girls sunbathing. Some are almost naked. My eyes were fixed on them. Then the next thing I heard was a girl speaking, "Pray!" I was keeping right, left, as we do it in Uganda. I was watching the girls and keeping left, not right as they do in America. The driver quickly picked and said, "Man, don't worry, you'll get tired of those chicks. I know you're from Africa. Here we also keep right. So if you're looking at them and keeping right, it's okay. But be careful, you might be knocked." So I learned my lesson. I never looked there again. So I went to class. The only black man in master's degree in hydraulics. So the professor had been told there was one more student coming. They didn't know I was a black man. So I sat down and gone with my very big slide rule, which I use in Makere. But nobody was using a slide rule there. They were using calculators. So the professor said, "Charles, can you try?" Because he had read my name. I said, "Yeah." It was easy because there were things I'd done here. So I put my slide rule down. He looked at me, said, "Have you finished?" I said, "Yes." The others were still struggling. So I found myself chairman. So I asked the person who brought me the letter, I said, how do you start giving me a job which I don't want? He said, "No, sir. It's just that the minister said." So I brought a few friends and let's fine. Later on, I was appointed chairman of UPK Kiambo, where I stayed for 10 years, until I disagreed with Minister Makobuya. I said, "I'm not prepared to continue on that certain position." I became chairman Uganda Engineers Registration Board. I served 3 terms, although you were supposed to serve for 2 terms. But the minister, my friend, engineer, I said, "Charles, you serve, there is nobody fit at this time." So I served for 3 terms. I served, as you know, chairman of UNED. After I had done a good job for the country, most of the changes you see in UNED that came in maybe 5 years after 1985 were brought in by the committee that I headed. It was not very easy. It was tough. I was investigating my uncle and my former teacher, David Mo. But I had to do it. I gave him a fair chance to explain himself. And we gave him the softest landing you could give anybody. Because it's a public document now, I can talk about it. We recommended that he retires in public interest. That's all. Otherwise, there were too many things that were going on there, which even you, if you saw it, you'll be at press not to make a very tough call that would correspond to that sanction. I was chairman, then appointed chairman of UNED by the president. I was supposed to serve for 2 terms, but my second term again was cut short because Kidu Makoboya didn't like the idea that I had the guts to go and tell Parliament, I am not going to give special examination to students who were cheated. I refused. I went to Parliament and told them, I said, next time these students you think are innocent are going to be MPs like you. They are going to make
bogus judgment. They have cheated, there's no question that they are smart. In any case, I asked them, who of you raised a voice when Teso was inundated by flood? Who raised a voice to say, give special exam to Teso, Simpson Teso? You refused. At the time, there was war in the north. I said, conditions are very hard. Nobody is addressing. I refused. Kiduma Kubayad made a serious fight there. We can easily give. I said, no, not possible. I refused. And later on, they appointed me chairman of Kerry University High School, which I served full time for 8 years. Makere was a very difficult place at that time, very difficult. If you haven't worked in the top echelon of that place, you don't know some of the things that go on. But there are caucuses up there that are difficult. That is the time when we formed, was it a committee, George? Sorry? A task force, yes, to try and look at the problems of Makere and try to help to solve it. And we appointed David as one of the members. I did a wonderful job. David, thank you for your work. When the idea was being mooted, I called the Vice Chancellor together with Atenjonam. I told the Vice Chancellor, I said, this man must get it. He will tell you the exact words. I said, rain or sunshine or something like that. He will get it. That's a direct. So I knew they didn't like George, because George is also a bit, it can scratch you a bit. Eventually, George came in as a research fellow, and they did a wonderful job. George, I want to thank you, but it was not easy. But I put my foot down. Members refused. I said, no. George is going there. I told him, I said, the chairman has decided. Mr. Yuru, sometimes you need to be a dictator. Sometimes, not always. So, that character of mine, I think, was partly shaped by my upbringing at home and also by my training, particularly in our college, because schools after that, there were no regulation. You're a free ranger. Free ranger. Oh, yeah. So that's why I say, whatever made me is from here. Back to my friend Patrice Ameng. Patrice Ameng came to visit his family in 1982, stayed briefly, and went back. He called me to say, Charles, I've decided to stay. I said, no problem, me, I'm going home. That was the last time we talked until 1992 when he came back. I was working national water. In between, Patrice got married to a Zimbabwean. He moved to work in Harare for 1 year. In between, when they married, they had 2 children, 1 boy called David, and then a girl. Both of them now live with their mother in Zimbabwe. When he went back, he held many positions, research institutions, in very reputable private position. Just work for the private sector. But they do a lot of work for government. Until 1992 when he came back, and
unfortunately he was sick. Mary went back and promised to see him. Unfortunately, a week before we would leave for Harvard University, was attending a course there, we got to report that Patrick had died. So Patrick died at a very, very young age. Very, very young age, 42 only. He was born and buried in the ancestral home. We were in a Rako Bella. So that's a summary. Before I end, I want to say a few things to students. Yesterday I had a chat with them for about 45 minutes. They are not here for their fathers. They are here for their own future. And if they don't take good advantage of it, it's their fault. We visited the dormitories. We saw certain features which really upset me and the other colleagues. Things that don't require money to fix. They don't clean windows, you know. Small things, but will make a big difference in the cleanliness. They do. Some of them, even when the headmaster and us are walking around, they continue sleeping on their beds, which means that some lack of discipline is there also. Because these things start from home. Now, if they are unable to show that at least they're picking something from school, it becomes very difficult for you to be somebody who listens. So we expect you to know why you are here. You're not simply here to wear a uniform, to go back to the village and impress village girls. You're here to study for yourselves. And if you don't, you're the loser. Nobody owns this place, but you could easily be the headmaster and chairman of PTA like Mr. Oyuru some 20, 30 years to come. When you look back, you'll be happy that this school brought you up. So I want the students to understand, please do concentrate your work. Make sure that if you don't understand anything, then to the HM, I have a little problem which people have been talking about. He said, a lot of our teachers here moonlight in schools close to Lango, but their students pass better than ours. Why? How? When those students themselves from P7 are unable to get entrance here, how come that these teachers, when they go teach there, the performance there is, are they sabotaging Lango? Are they deliberately not using the measure that they were taught in schools, whether Kiambo or Makerere, you know, how to prepare lesson plans, or how to prepare scheme of work, etc. So I think there the head teacher has to tighten his belt. We know you have a lot of problems, but these endless stories must stop also. There must be an end to these endless stories. My children are not here. My children are not here. So I'm saying this in good faith. Mr. Chairman Board, I know your term is almost ending. Some of you are coming back. Some of you are coming back. Please, apart from other shortcomings, pay attention to that. I know we may not be able to remunerate the staff well enough, but some balance has to be agreed upon. Because you can't surrender your base and do better elsewhere. Even Jesus said, start from your home before you preach to the others. How can you abandon your home? No, doesn't work. So, as I conclude, I want to appeal to my fellow OBs. Please, let us do what our mouths are saying. We said we are going to Lewis Kennedy Library. The playlist has been running for almost a year. I hardly see any movement from blue to red. Please do the effort. I am not convinced any of you cannot manage what you place. Secondly, please do pay your annual subscription fee. 120,000 shillings only. You think I am going to accept that one cannot pay? Huh? Where one? No, you're not. And so finally, Mr. Chairman and the others, there's a message here from our friend David Ogo. Mr. Policy, David has a back problem. He can't travel so well. So I am sorry, I'm taking a bit too long, but I was not given anything to talk about.
So but you were a free ranger.
I'm a free ranger. So if I say something that touches you or touches your office, please take it in good faith. This is not to look down anybody's effort. We're all working together. And I want to thank you for your various parts. Thank you very much.
Round of applause for our free ranger. It so happens that we have only one and only Charles Agm in Uganda. He's the only one in Uganda, and fortunately that Charles Agm happens to hail from Lao, and very especially from Lao College. That is also our pride. Let's clap once more for him. Dear students, did you understand him anyway? Did you understand? Yeah, some of those people, when they teach in university, you need another lecturer to come and break down whatever he was saying. Because much of it sounds like jargons and the rest, but those are words of wisdom. In summary, Dr. Charles Agm said you should work hard. A caliber of people who are also, who can be appointed by force. That you are appointed to this position by force. Very respectable position, and you are appointed there by force. You don't want to work, you are going to work. Some of us are looking for jobs to be sub-county chiefs, you cannot get. But it is being appointed chairman, authority from the city for us to proceed. I beg that we add more 30 minutes, 1 hour. 1 hour? No, if we had ourselves 1 hour, we'll continue being extravagant. So we are going to use more 40 minutes. That means whoever is speaking here should be as short and brief and precise to the point. Remember, we still have unveiling of the J.F. Kennedy Library. That is an OB project by Dr. George Piwang. We also have elections of Lacosa executives whenever he starts to speak. But due to time constraints, I'm going to be his timekeeper. You know, it's not also simple to timekeep somebody who is so eloquent. But I'm here for you. You're most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, MC. Protocol at the high table observed. Protocol of senior alumni and elders observed. Protocol of teachers observed. And protocol of students acknowledged. Lango College, oye? Did you have lunch? One more time. Lango College, oye? Good. Let me try with the teacher. Let me try with the alumni. Lango College, oye? See power. I will not try the high table. Thank you, Dr. Charles Agm, for your profound words. And I want to echo what Dr. Agm said, that he appointed me research fellow on the task force on job evaluation, reorganization of the staff structure and financing of Makerere University, which was a government task force, but appointed
by the chair of council. And he also appointed Mr. David Opiokela. Out of that work, which for me is his biggest legacy as chairman of council, there was a lot of sabotage and fight against it because they claimed Charles Warner appointed his brothers on the task force. But we did a fabulous job. One of our groups led by Mr. Opiokela went and benchmarked Duke University in North Carolina in America, where I did my graduate studies. And it was at Duke University between 2004 and 2007 that the dream of the President John F. Kennedy Library, Science, Technology, Engineering Center was born. I returned to Duke in 2004 to try to finish my PhD after a 9-year break. This was after some 3 young American students produced a film called Invisible Children about the LRA war. Do you remember that film?
Yes.
That film is what introduced the LRA war to most audiences in America, especially on university, college, and high school campuses. So at Duke University, I got invited to many schools, departments, and programs to speak about the LRA war in northern Uganda when they would screen that film. And one of such invitation was by the School of Engineering at Duke University, by a group called Engineers Without Borders, Duke University chapter. So when they invited me to speak, they told me that they came to Uganda on a summer project as students, and they dug some water wells, so they built something in Mukono. So I told them, I said, next time you come to Uganda, you go to northern Uganda, because this is where this film is talking about. And you go and mentor high school students. Mentor them in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and you can mentor them in the Kennedy Library in Lango College, my high school alma mater. They said, wow, there's a Kennedy Library in northern Uganda. I said, yes. And then they said, in that case, then we need to go with the Engineers Without Borders from Harvard University and from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, both of which are in President John F. Kennedy's home state. That's what they said. A year later, I returned to Uganda, but I heard what they said, and I remember what I told them. So I started crafting this proposal, and I shared it with Engineer Dr. Charles Wanetiem and other alumni within the Makerere setting. So that is how the vision was born at Duke University. And that is how it's going to happen. So for me now, I just want to read a number of resolutions that we supported. After that initial sharing, I wrote a draft proposal, and the Lango College Alumni Association then, which we formed with the late Professor Pierre Kong as chairman, took this up as our Golden Jubilee project, Lango College at 50, 1961 to 2011. And Dr. Robinson Ogwang, that time was working with the USAID project. He arranged for some USAID, US Embassy staff to meet Professor Pierre Kong about partnering on the Kennedy project. The appointment to which Professor Pierre Kong was driving to is when he met the fatal accident that claimed his life. That was the initiative of Dr. Robinson Ogwang, who is still committed to that project now as he was there. Give big kudos
to the Lacosa Executive under Dr. Edward Okori. Dr. Edward, you stand up for applause, a round of applause, and your executive. You're a great team. As LC at 60, 1961-2021 Diamond Jubilee Project. Congratulations. Global resource mobilization strategy that I used for the President Mwai Kibaki Presidential Library at Makerere, the one where Dr. Charles Wane team asked me when he saw the proposal, he said, George, where did this brilliance come from? From heaven or from hell? I said, from Lango College. Then we all burst out laughing. That global resource mobilization strategy is what we are going to employ for the JF Kennedy Library. So I needed architects who can paint the picture, because it is that picture they paint which tugs at people's hearts to contribute, to become part of that story. I learned fundraising in America with a Christian organization, that if you want to raise money from a wealthy person, don't ask for funds. You will get very little. So they don't use fundraising, like looking for cents, shillings, and dollars. That is for poor people. You don't get money from wealthy people by raising funds. You mobilize resources from wealthy people by telling stories about a cause, a reason, a project, and how they must be part of that project. That if they don't become part of that project, they will die. A project like, you touch their hearts, and then their pockets will follow. But if you ask for funds, you might not get it. So that is what Lacosa brings by having this as an alumni project for our alma mater, together with the Board of Governors, given our school is a government-founded school, together with the PTA, together with the community, together with the students. We are all in this together. And I thank you, Chairman of the Board, for prophesying and proclaiming that this is Easter, and therefore with this project we are marking the resurrection of Lango College. This is Easter for Lango College. Introduced to me these two brilliant young architects who designed that Ambassador Karen Kennedy House Annex, and they designed the architectural model for the JF Kennedy Library. Why the two? Because the dream was born in Duke University due to a film about the LRA war. Insurgencies affected Lango College as well, as our elder head prefect said, that girls became students of Lango College because of insurgency. Now, on our WhatsApp forum of Lango College OB, some people are saying, we cannot be a girls' school. And I was saying, look, this is what insurgency brought. That we have girls who rightly claim to be OGs of Lango College because of war. That is a big blessing. That is what they say, lemons, you use it for making lemonade. So, the Lango College Diamond Jubilee Project, President John F. Kennedy Library, Science, Technology, Engineering Center, will be a state-of-the-art facility. STEM Center of Excellence. During term time, students of Lango College will use it. But during holiday, We can organize science camps, library camps, ICT camps, entrepreneurship camps for schools in Greater Northern Uganda, so that they also come and have experience of the latest computers, artificial intelligence, robotics, basic manufacturing, engineering in the J.F. Kennedy Library Science Technology Center. Both female students and male students from schools all over Greater Northern Uganda. The boys or the male students and their teachers can stay in our dormitories, in our houses during holiday. The girls and the female teachers can stay in the Ambassador Caroline Kennedy House Annex. So that because Caroline Kennedy is the only surviving daughter of President J.F. Kennedy, that becomes annex of her father's monument, the J.F. Kennedy Library, so that it becomes one. And because Ambassador Caroline Kennedy is a woman, she loves to hear about girls' education. So Lango College, alumni, Lacosa, Lango College, Board of Governors, Lango College, PTA, and the community are all resurrecting the legacy of President John F. Kennedy in Lango College, Lira City, Northern Uganda, Africa. But for training, giving the best opportunities for young people, including girls, at high school level. That becomes a powerful incentive for Ambassador Karen Kennedy, the Kennedy family, and the Kennedy friends to support Lango College in resurrecting the legacy of President John F. Kennedy in Lango College, Northern Uganda, Africa. Are we together?
Yes.
That is the dream. Now you look at how Kennedy Library is located. In the center of the school, isn't it? From the dining hall, from the dormitories, from the classrooms, you pass near by Kennedy Library. Our time, the assembly hall was that alarm tree. I don't know whether it's still the same assembly hall. The alarm tree is near Kennedy Library. So Kennedy Library is the center of Lango College campus. And because it has decayed, that has also symbolized the decay of Lango College. And because it will rise up into a new President John F. Kennedy Library, Science, Technology and Engineering Center, Lango College will similarly rise up again as proclaimed today on Easter Eve. I've been signing my posts on the Lango College Orbis platform as surely Lango College shall rise and shine again. Fast forward to 2021 in the journey of this dream. President Museveni appointed Ms. Robi Kakonge as Uganda's ambassador to the USA. Now, Ms. Robi Kakonge, now our ambassador in the USA, and I first met in a company called Divinity Union Limited, founded by General Salim Saleh. I was one of the executive board members of Divinity Union. General Salim Saleh was the founder and chairman. Ms. Robi Kakonge handled the media relations and communications and PR of Divinity Union. Robi Kakonge is the daughter of the late Honorable John Kakonge, who was the first Secretary General of UPC after independence. Many of you know that name. They went into exile after the father's death, so she grew up in America. She did her bachelor's degree at Arizona State University, and she did her graduate degree at the prestigious School of Journalism at Columbia University. It's well-accomplished journalist. When the president appointed her ambassador in 2021, I reached out to her and said, this is very timely. I introduced her to the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Nawangwe, with the hope that when she goes, she would mobilize Makerere networks in the USA for celebration of Mark at 100. Professor Nawangwe tweeted about our meeting and thanked me for taking Ruby Kakombe. So she started telling Professor Nawangwe that her appointment as ambassador to the US at this time was prophetic. That it came 60 years after her father, John Kakombe, met President J.F. Kennedy in the White House, when her father accompanied then Prime Minister Apollo Milton Obote 2 weeks after Uganda's independence. And she said there's a video where her father was standing directly behind Prime Minister Obote as they talked with President Kennedy. And then she said, President John F. Kennedy's daughter has also been appointed ambassador, US ambassador to Australia. And then she added, Caroline Kennedy and I have the same birthday. I said, wow. So when we finished meeting from Nawangwe's office and we were walking down, I told her, I said, do you know there's a Kennedy library in Lango College? She stopped. She stopped in her tracks. And he said, there's a Kennedy library in Lango College. I said, yes, that is my high school alma mater. Now listen to the words she uttered. Then Ambassador Caroline Kennedy has to visit Uganda and visit Lango College. Then I told her, I said, that is what we alumni of Lango College have been working on since 2011. And then she added, let's get it done. Ambassador Ruby Kakombe and I knew each other 1998-2000 in Divinity Union of Jerusalem. President Museveni appoints Ambassador Kennedy in 2021, and she reports to her station of duty in 2022. Exactly 60 years since her father was in White House meeting President J.F. Kennedy with then Prime Minister Apollo Milton Obote, who was a member of the first Board of Governors of Lango College as of June 1961 from the records I have. Mr. Ore, is that true? It's true, eh? So, our historian has confirmed at June 1961, the record I have. And also today, I heard from you that the Kennedy Library was named in 1963 after the assassination of President J.F. Kennedy by some of the Peace Corps teachers who were here. Guess what? There was a black American teacher here. Called William, black American. Yes. He introduced basketball, I think. High jump. In 2011, I heard about that teacher's wife and daughter through Dr. Shelby F. Lewis. Dr. Wanda, you remember Dr. Shelby Lewis, who was a Peace Corps teacher in Torogas? She said they had a reunion. The teacher passed on, but his wife and daughter want to visit Lango College to see the school where their father was teaching. So, Ambassador Ruby Kakombe appointed, reports to Washington, D.C., and guess what? On the 10th of January this year, she handled her credentials to President Joe Biden in the very White House that her father met J.F. Kennedy in 1962. The 61st anniversary of her father meeting J.F. Kennedy. She handled her credentials to President Joe Biden. You knew that President J.F. Kennedy had Irish background. Did you know that? This school, that plaque says the Kennedy Library. This was named in honor of President John F. Kennedy and in gratitude for the help to this school by the United States International Development Agency during his administration. Now, President John F. Kennedy established USAID on the 3rd of November 1961, the year that Lango College was opened. USAID and Lango College are twins born in 1961. This is not an accident. This is a plan of God. And today, the chairman of the board proclaimed resurrection for Lango College. So I want us to forget about the issues, fights, differences before they've died with Good Friday yesterday. Today we are proclaiming Easter for Lango College through the John F. Kennedy Library, Science and Technology Center and Ambassador Karen Kennedy House Annex. So I'm just going to run through the roadmap one quickly and just say I'm proposing that this Lacosa Agm as this, and then somebody seconds, which has consequences that we have to, but it is a blessing also, I will explain to you. And then there is a strategy that the US government has introduced called the US Strategy Towards Sub-Saharan Africa, launched in August 2022. It has a component of digital transformation where American academic institutions will partner with African universities and institutions in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. Have you heard me? So there's a US strategy which is now being implemented, which has also come just in time for the JF Kennedy Library. So then here are my recommendations for agreement or approval by Lacosa Agm today. And this Lacosa Agm approves Lacosa Executive Committee designation of Her Excellency Robbie Kakonge as Lango College Goodwill Ambassador in the USA to network globally for the President John F. Kennedy Library Science Technology Engineering Center and Ambassador Karen Kennedy House Annex, aka President John F. Kennedy Monument in Africa in Lango College, the Rashid in northern Uganda. If there's a secondment, let there be a secondment and it shall be agreed.
Seconded.
Doctor, I second it.
You second it? Thank you. 2, I recommend that this Lacosa Agm commissions our genius alumnus, writer and poet, Julius Ochino, to craft the citation of excellence of Her Excellency Robbie Kakonge as Lango College Goodwill Ambassador in the USA to globally network as above. Seconded?
Seconded.
And Julius Ochino is here. He was here.
He's gone.
He's willing to do that. Further, that this Lacosa Agm mandates the Lacosa Executive Committee to frame the citation of excellence of Excellency Robbie Kakonge as Lango College Goodwill Ambassador in the USA, send the frame citation of excellence to our genius alumnus, Professor Patrick Bitua, who is a Lacosa Executive member in the USA, who should be further mandated to mobilize the genius alumni of Lango College in the USA and Canada to formally present the citation of excellence to Her Excellency Robbie Kakonge at the Uganda Embassy Mission in Washington, D.C. Seconded?
Seconded.
I recommend that Lacosa Executive, this Lacosa Executive, mandates the Lango College Goodwill Ambassador, Her Excellency Robbie Kakonge, together with our genius alumni in the US and Canada, to network Ambassador Karen Kennedy and the Kennedy family and Kennedy's friends towards their contribution to the President John F. Kennedy Library Science, Technology and Engineering Center and Ambassador Karen Kennedy House Annex, aka President John F. Kennedy Monument in Africa
in Lango College, Lira City, in northern Uganda. Seconded? Further, that this Lacosa Agm mandates Lango College Goodwill Ambassador, Excellency Robika Konge, together with our genius alumni in the US and Canada, to network Miss Melinda F. Gates, distinguished alumna of Duke University, where this dream was born between 2004 and 2006, to become a beneficiary and contribute to the President John F. Kennedy Library Science, Technology, and Engineering Center and Ambassador Karen Kennedy's House Annex. Seconded?
Seconded.
Further, that this Lacosa Agm mandates Lango College Goodwill Ambassador, High Excellency Robika Konga, together with the other genius alumni in the US and Canada, to network the Obama Foundation to become a benefactor and contribute to the President J.F. Kennedy Library, Science, Technology, Engineering Center, and Ambassador Karen Kennedy House Annex, aka President John F. Kennedy Monument in Africa, in Lango College, Lira City, northern Uganda. This is premised on former US President Barack Obama's historical association and friendship with the Kennedy family. Seconded?
Seconded.
Furthermore, this Lacosa Agm mandates Lango College Goodwill Ambassador, Her Excellency Robika Konge, together with Lango College genius alumni in the US and Canada, to network other institutions named in honor and remembrance of President John F. Kennedy, to contribute to the President John F. Kennedy Library, Science, Technology, Engineering Center, and Ambassador Karen Kennedy House Annex, aka John F. Kennedy Monument in Africa, in Lango College, Lira City, northern Uganda, such as President John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum in Boston, Massachusetts, the Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University, John F. Kennedy High Schools in various states of the USA, the Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, Florida, USA. Seconded?
Seconded.
Now, these resolutions of the AGM are powerful instruments. That's why we are going to have a press conference after this. Nine, I recommend that this Lacosa AGM approves Lacosa Executive Appeal that His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, as a proud alumnus of Ntare School, become the champion of global resource mobilization for the President J.F. Kennedy Library, Science, Technology, and Engineering Center, and Ambassador Karen Kennedy House Annex, aka President John F. Kennedy Monument in Africa, in Lango College, Lira City, northern Uganda. Why? Because D.H. Ross, the second headmaster of Lango College, 1964-1971, during whose tenure Lango College became an academic giant in East Africa, was deputy headmaster in Ntare School. Seconded?
Seconded.
I recommend that this Lacosa AGM approves Lacosa Executive Committee roadmap proposal that the high-powered Lango College delegation of select Lacosa members, Board of Governors, PTA, management, and students seek appointment with His Excellency President Museveni and invite him to launch the global resource mobilization for the President John F. Kennedy Monument in Africa in Lango College, Lira City, preferably June 2023 in Lango College, Lira City. Seconded?
Seconded.
Further, that this Lacosa AGM mandates Lacosa Executive Committee to invite General Salim Saleh, Chief Coordinator, Operation Wealth Creation, Office of the President, and founder and chairman of the former Divinity Union, where both genius alumnus George Tuang Jalobo and Lango College Goodwill Ambassador, Excellency Robert Kakonge, first met in 1998 to 2000 to visit Lango College, and with select Lango College genius alumni, Board of Governors, PTA, preferably this month of April, who will request General Salim Saleh to make appointment for the high-powered delegation of Lango College to meet with His Excellency President Museveni. Seconded?
Seconded.
Cheda Kamet Mom.
Matata.
General Melira. Conded that Lango College select alumni, Board of Governors, PTA invites General Salim Saleh to visit Lango College this month. It therefore means that the architectural models must be completed and costed to be presented to General Salim Saleh when he comes. So that when the delegation asks him to make appointment with the president, that is what he will say to the president, that this is the project that Lango College,
Lacosa Agm resolved to invite you to be champion of.
Therefore, I call upon our alumni who have been pledging for the JFK Library that let us fast track our pledges so that we can pay the down payment that the architects have asked for, so they can complete the architectural models to be ready for Jerusalem's visit. That this Lacosa Agm approves the Lacosa Executive Committee's designation of Lango College at 1961-2021 Diamond Jubilee celebration to feature one, groundbreaking for the President John F. Kennedy Monument in Africa in Lango College, Leda City, northern Uganda. To feature Grand Lango College homecoming, and to take place on the 22nd October 2023 with Ambassador Karen Kennedy presiding over the groundbreaking and the official state invitation by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni, the champion of global resource mobilization for the President John F. Kennedy Monument in Africa in Lango College, in consultation with our Lango College Goodwill Ambassador in the USA, Her Excellency Robi Kakonge. That this would also mark the 61st anniversary of Honorable John Kakonge, accompanying then Prime Minister Apollo Milton Obote, first member of the first Board of Governors of Lango College, when they met President John F. Kennedy in the White House on 22nd October 2020, on 22nd October 1962. Seconded?
Seconded.
13. That this Lacosa Agm mandates the Lacosa Executive Committee together with the Board of Governors to constitute a project and development committee for the John F. Monument in Africa in Lango College, Leda City. Those are the roadmap. Now the meeting, proposed meeting with the General Salim Saleh will be sent by an invitation letter to the Lacosa chairperson to invite General Salim Saleh to come to Lango College, and my recommendation. So, Easter for Lango College has come. And since we are inviting President Museveni as proud alumnus of the entire school, it means when he accepts our appeal, he comes with the other alumni of the entire school. Isn't it? Because the headmaster that made us great was the deputy headmaster. And he also, we leave it up to him to invite the other president alumni of entire school. That's not ours. And alumni of Nyakasura School should also come, because the first headmaster came from Nyakasura. All these are our networks of resource mobilization. Then alumni use their ideas and networks to support our alma mater. Surely, Lango College shall rise and shine again. Water and water.
I even forgot my role as timekeeper. I was very brief. An accomplice. Maybe clap for him. That is not enough at all. This has been a great work. Research-based presentation. Thank you so much.
So, now the other item is formation of a committee for J.F. Kennedy Library.
Monument in Africa, in Lango College, Leda City, northern Uganda. The Lango College at 60th Diamond Jubilee project.